Hey, what is up, guys? It's Kenny here. Welcome to a Black Ops 3 commentary. I get a lot of questions all the time, and I've talked to Nate about this and stuff like that, and a lot of people want to know, how do you become a better sniper in Black Ops 3 or in Call of Duty in general? Now, before I begin, I just want to say that I think in Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and what's the other space game? Infinite Warfare. I don't think sniping is as easy or as easy to learn in these games because of the jetpack and the advanced advanced movement and the multiple areas where you can get shot from / your enemy can move. Now, that being said, I put together a little list of some tips that I have for you guys in hopes that it will help you. It all comes down to practice, but there are some things that maybe you don't know. I think they're pretty common knowledge. I've been playing COD for a long time, so maybe you guys don't think this way or whatever. So I'm just gonna go through the list with you guys. I'm gonna explain some of the things that I wrote up, and hopefully this will help you guys with your sniping and whatever you're doing, or just your gameplay in general. All right, so number one, practice. I just said that it's the biggest tip. It's the best way to improve over time. Try to play against players who are better than you, and just practice. It literally, just playing the game will make you better no matter what. Even if you don't read any other tips, as long as you just play the game, you will get better. All right, learn from your mistakes, get better. Tip number 2, low sensitivity. Now, I know a lot of people like to play COD on high sensitivity, and it makes sense when you're an SMG and you're playing like these newer games, which, like I said, have high verticality, more areas to be shot from. High sensitivity sometimes is good, especially if you're like an SMG and you're playing up close and you're jumping around, you're jumping over them, you got people jumping over you. High sensitivity is good, but for sniping and a lot of other FPS games, I know a lot of people and professionals, pretty much people who are good at COD, for the most part, there's obviously some others, but for the most part, use a low sensitivity. I myself play on 400 DPI, and I use a 2 sensitivity or like a 1.5. I'll switch between those. So I play on a pretty low sensitivity. 400 DPI, I think, is the lowest you can go. Maybe there's lower, but low sensitivity helps me out. It takes a little bit to get used to, but once you do, your aim will be more precise. And not only Call of Duty, but if you play CSGO too, your aim will be more precise in that as well. Because low sensitivity, you just have more control over the short movement. Obviously, if you're trying to spin around 360 and stuff, then you're gonna want to put a higher sensitivity because it's gonna take a couple mouse throws across your mouse pad to turn around. All right, so that would be tip number 2. Tip number 3 is do not peek the same spot twice against another sniper, or depending on what they're using, it could be like an LMG just spamming down the corner. Do not peek twice unless you jump across. Like, you guys may see me a lot of times, I'll peek it, and if I miss, I'll jump across and try to shoot him. And I would only recommend that if you know that the other guy is shot or whatever. If he's using like an LMG, usually if you jump across, he can't quite snap to you as fast. But if you know the person's shot that you're going up against isn't that great, if it's another sniper and you've played him earlier in the match, you 1v1'd him, and you know his shot's not that great, I would recommend trying to jump across in these new games. If you guys are playing Black Ops 3 and stuff, or Black Ops 2, rather, boots on the ground, I would also recommend jumping across. It's usually the easiest thing to try to catch them off guard. Black Ops 3, you can also try sliding across and getting a shot that way to like another peak spot. But do not peek a sniper twice in a row. I do it all the time. It's just a dumb thing to do. I usually don't do it if I'm playing competitive, but it's just pubs and it's not really a big deal. But that's just another tip. Don't peek a sniper twice. If you peek, you miss, either move to a new spot or try to jump across like a window and shoot them that way. And if you miss that shot, I would definitely recommend not peeking again unless you know the person you're playing just does not have a really good shot. All right, so number 4, if your aim is not that great, obviously carry a pistol. I usually, when I snipe, I have a pistol anyway, but I know some people just snipe and only use a sniper and then just, play that way. So that's also another way you can do it too. But yeah, if your aim's not that great, use a pistol. Maybe carry a concussion grenade that can get you out of sticky situations. And if you know there's like if you know there's a bunch of people on B, you can toss a concussion grenade above, throw it on B, then kind of jump, try to get a couple pick shots while they're still concussed and can't really move their aim to you. That's kind of common knowledge, I know, but I wanted to give you guys, I wrote all these tips down, so hopefully they'll help out a little bit. Number 5, if you are a camper, which I do not promote, and I also don't promote these, tripwires are your friend, okay? If you're a camper, you like to sit in a window, throw a tripwire up the stairs. If anybody comes up, if it doesn't kill them, at least you'll know they're there. You'll be able to hear them. But yeah, like I said, I don't really recommend this, I don't promote this because I do not like tripwires. I think they're aids of COD. They're like bouncing betties, C4, all that stuff. They're just aids. I hate them. I don't want you to use tripwires, but if your aim's not that great and you like to camp, you like to sit in the back of the map, throw down a tripwire, okay? It's gonna help you out a bunch. And also, if you're a camper and you don't want to use a pistol, you just want to snipe, or say you want to use a pistol, but you don't really get up close and personal with people, like if you sit in the way back of the map, grab a rocket launcher, okay? It may not help you get kills, but it may help your team, especially if you're a camper. I recommend this for anybody who's not very good at the game, or who's just not that great. If you go like 5 and 15 a game, grab a rocket launcher, because even if you're doing bad, if you're playing domination, the other team's calling in streaks, your rocket launcher can help out the players who are trying to carry you. I prefer this. If you're just a bad player, if you go negative, you have a below a 1 KD, throw on a rocket launcher, help out your team, okay? Even if you're not doing that great in the game, a rocket launcher helps out greatly. An enemy team throws up a UAV, boom, you shoot it down, you're helping your team. Number 7 on my tip list here. I actually don't know how many tips we've gone through, but I personally, when I'm sniping, I really don't like playing TDM. I know I played a lot, but it's really because I don't really have a choice. Sometimes domination will be dead. But I personally don't like TDM for sniping. I'd rather use a ray gun. But then again, there are some maps where I do like it. But if you're trying to get better at sniping, I would suggest that you play game types that have an objective, preferably an objective in the open, like usually B flags are in the open, especially on Fringe and stuff. That'll help you like kind of, I don't know, I guess work on your aim a little bit, because there's a lot of people going for the point. You can kind of sit in one spot, you can hide behind a truck and try to pick people off as they go into B, try to predict their movement, which is another thing that I have on the list. So like I said, I prefer domination or any kind of objective mode that has something in the open, like S&D, maybe there's a bomb in the open or whatever. You can watch a lane where people are coming from an S&D. I just prefer objective game times for sniping over TDM. So if you guys are trying to get better, maybe try to play some objective games. Maybe not TDM, where you get flanked 90% of the time. Throw in some objective mode game types and try playing that. See if you do a little bit better. Number 8, after you shoot, do not keep your gun aimed in, okay? I see a lot of people do this. They'll shoot a shot, they'll let the gun cock completely while they're still aimed in and try to lock back onto a guy. One, this is gonna help with your zeroing, which is where you like, kind of like quick scoping, you aim on them before you aim in. I personally am not very good at quick scoping. I actually prefer to aim in and kind of drag scope a little bit, but the number one thing, if you shoot your gun, do not keep your gun aimed in, unaim. All right, it allows you to move. You can either reload, switch to a pistol if you're up close, but just unaim your gun, lock back on. It'll help you get your aim down. Do not stay to aim in. That's just, what in the world? My dog? Oh God, that was scary. So yeah, once you shoot your gun, unaim. If he's still there, aim back in, shoot again, but do not keep your gun aimed in. I feel like this is one of the biggest tips that a lot of people miss out on. Do not keep your gun aimed in, all right? Just unaim, aim back in. Number 9, do not use semi-autos. I feel like these don't really help too much with your aim, because you can spam them. It kind of takes some of the skill gap out of it. I would recommend only using bolt action, especially if you're trying to get better and you're trying to hit, like, I don't know, cool clips, cool shots. Semi-autos, I said in my notes, semi-autos are for losers. I don't know. It's kind of like using the P06. It's kind of a little bit too easy. Dracone, you can just spam it. I prefer, if you're trying to snipe, use a bolt action, get better with it. I feel like over time it will help your aim, because it teaches you not to spam. It teaches you that you have to be on them before you shoot or when you shoot. That way, you know, you're not just spamming around them and hoping that they run into it or something. Number 10, a huge tip, not just for sniping, but in COD in general. Know the map layout, know your spawns, predict your enemy's next move. And this is a huge one for sniping. If you know what they're going to do next, you know where to place your crosshair and get ready for them. If you know somebody you're playing against likes to peek and then jump across, like Nate, he likes to peek a corner and then he likes to try to jump across usually, like I was saying before, and the don't peek the same spot. If you know somebody shoots, they miss, and you know their next move is going to be jumping across, get your crosshair ready for their jump. Predict where they're going to be and aim at that spot. This is really good for domination. It's good for going up against other snipers. If you know where they're going to be, that gives you a huge advantage to get your gun ready to move to that location, or even have it pre-aimed. If you know they're going to jump, aim where they're going to jump to, all right? And then that should help out a bunch. This is just a huge tip in general for Call of Duty, not just sniping, but knowing your map layout, knowing spawns, and knowing how people play, which you can learn about a person, how they play, in just one game. If you know there's a sniper that sits in a window and he goes back to that window 3 times, odds are the 4th time he's probably going to go right back to that window because he's a camper and you can predict where he's going to be. That's all right. My recording cut off right there for some reason, but like I was saying, if somebody goes to a window 3 times, odds are they're going to be back there again. So that's why a lot of people that are kind of novice on PC or not, you know, that experienced too much will call people who are good players for being hacks whenever they're like predicting where they're going to be. It's all just common knowledge, not really common knowledge, but it's all just about learning where your enemy plays and how they're going to play their next life. Say you kill somebody, you know he's going to go back to the same spot. Well, the next time you get to that area, you pre-fire that area or you peek it and you know he's going to be there. You're already aimed in. Boom, you shoot him. It looks like you're cheating on the kill cam. Same thing goes for like people who use like CUDA and flank every single time. If they've flanked you twice, when you kill them, you can predict they're going to flank again because that's just how some people play. Like some people flank only, some people rush the middle, some people camp in a window. It's pretty easy. You guys can watch my gameplay and you can see how I play. I usually rush the middle. I'm usually not the flanker. I'm not a camper. I'll just rush in to the action and try to get as many kills as I can before I die. Hopefully go on a kill streak and stuff like that. So just try to predict. Try to know where your enemy is, how they play. Learn how they play within the first couple minutes of the game. Like say you're playing Dom, and when you're running to B, instead of somebody running straight at you from the other side, they're coming from a building. Then if you kill that person, you can kind of predict that they're going to try to do the same thing again. Maybe on the other side, they'll try flanking that way instead. But usually if they flank once or twice a game, you can predict that they're going to flank a lot more in that game. So you can kind of predict, oh, well, this is the only guy alive that I haven't killed this round or in this minute. Where's he at? You can pretty much predict, okay, this guy flanks. He's going to be either behind us, trying to kill one of my camping teammates, or he's going to be coming from the side. And then, you know, it's so on. So besides that, jetpack games are usually harder to snipe in. Advanced Warfare, I could not snipe for the life of me. There's so much movement. Black Ops 3, I kind of found my rhythm. But just in general, jetpack games are kind of harder to snipe in. Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, a lot harder to snipe in than say like your Black Ops 2 or your World at War. It's just in general, usually jetpack games are harder. People can move in more directions than you're used to. They can jump above you, sideways, below you. It's kind of crazy. So if you guys are struggling in Black Ops 3 and you're on console, I wouldn't take it too hard, but if you're good on Black Ops 3, if you get good at that, just know that when it comes to boots on the ground, that's just going to be less things that you have to worry about. You're not going to have to worry about people flying over you or underneath you from below the map. When it comes back to boots on the ground, which COD will, I think, in the next year, then you'll be ready to go. If you guys have your aim down on Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, then I would be pretty happy because when boots on the ground comes around, that just means your aim's going to be that much better when you don't have to worry about predicting if they're going to jump above you or something, but just know the corner they're going to peek. So if you guys are good in Black Ops 3, or if you struggle in Black Ops 3, then I really wouldn't worry about it. I feel like once boots on the ground comes back around, you guys will probably be better. So just practice trying to, you know, predict where people are going to be in their jetpacks and stuff. And then, yeah, that's all it really is prediction and knowing where they're going to be. If they jump this way, where they're going to land, pretty much stuff like that. So that being said, a jetpack can be a huge advantage to you. In my sniping videos, you guys see I'm jumping around constantly. I'm always in the air, usually jumping off walls, jumping over this truck. I try not to auto climb too much, and I try not to stay on the ground just running in a straight line as well. I like to try to boost because, one, it's easier to jump around and stuff on PC unless you have a scuff on console. It's just harder with a controller. So if you do have a scuff, then use the jetpack to your advantage because it's going to help out quite a lot. It's going to make you harder to hit for the most part, and yeah, so use the jetpack boost to your advantage if you can. But other than that, that's pretty much all the tips I have for you guys. I know this was a long video. I didn't plan on it being this long. And I know a lot of this stuff you guys are probably like, well, I already knew that, Kenny. But really, there is no secret to becoming a better sniper. It just takes practice. You know, you just got to learn how your enemy plays and try to outplay them. Use your brain. I like to say that 70% of Call of Duty is just map knowledge and awareness. Like if you know where someone's going to be, you can pre-fire it. That gives you a pretty big advantage in that gunfight. If you know where they're going to be and you can pre-fire it, then you already know where they're coming from and you can catch them by surprise. So I really feel like 70% of COD is all about map knowledge and awareness. So if you can get that down, it'll make your game a lot better. Even if your aim's still a little off, just knowing where people are going to be and knowing where to put your crosshairs and stuff gives you a huge advantage over them, especially at the beginning of the game and stuff like that. If you know that to get to B bomb site, a lot of them like to take this pathway and you can get there before they do, you can just literally pre-fire it, wait for them to walk down the aisle or whatever it is, and unload on them. So that being said, I know it was pretty simple. A lot of it's common knowledge, but hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. Who knows? Try these tips out for a week. Lower your sensitivity is a big one, and just try to predict instead of just, you know, raw reaction. Just try to predict where people are going to be instead of trying to wait for them to get there and then aim in. So hopefully this helps you guys out. If you guys enjoyed this video, then drop a like on it. It's kind of hard to make. Like I said, there's no big secret to sniping. You just practice and it'll make you better. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.